Hello and welcome to our final episode of BuffSports Live. I'm Lena Takahashi.
And I'm Mitchell Sanchez. Lena, I'm getting a little emotional. It's our last episode of BSL ever.
It's our last one. You've been doing this for 4 years. I've been doing this for 3. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. I counted up the amount of rapid fires last night, over 100.
It's incredible. But we don't have any time for tears because we obviously have a lot of sports to get into, and starting with the end of the women's lacrosse season. Colorado women's lacrosse team wrapped up their regular season with a 14-8 victory over the Oregon Ducks last Friday. The Buffs were leading by just 4 goals at the half, and Oregon cut it as close as 3. But Colorado kept the foot on the gas. Senior Samantha Nemerov led the scoring attack for the Buffs with 4 goals. Miranda Stinson and Sophie Castillo each had 3 points for the Buffaloes. With the win, Colorado finished the season a perfect 6-0 on the road.
The women's lacrosse team starts the Pac-12 tournament tonight in Berkeley. They are 8-12 in the Pac-12 and ranked 22nd in the nation. That record was good enough to get Colorado a first-round bye in the tourney. Senior Miranda Stinson is 18th in the country in goals and 39th in points. The Buffs play against the winner of the Stanford-Oregon game tonight at 7:30. All of the games will be broadcast live on the Pac-12 network. And we move from women's to men's lacrosse.
That's right, Mitch. I know a part or many parts of you are at Kip Field right now for the BuffSports Live broadcast of today's men's lacrosse playoff game.
We'll break into the coverage with our Jack Carlo calling the game right now.
We'll get the ball back here with 6:36 left in the first period. Tied at 2. Mumford bring the ball up the field. Quick pass to Christ. To Christ.
It seems like the Buffs have found their guy to replace Kim English. 24/7 Sports first reported, and Colorado Basketball announced today that former ASU assistant coach Anthony Coleman has been hired by Colorado. Coleman resigned after the ASU season ended, apparently to explore other coaching opportunities. Before working at Arizona State, Coleman spent 3 years as an assistant manager of sports marketing at Adidas. Todd Boyle says Coleman is a great asset to replace Coach English, a young coach who knows the Pac-12 and the recruiting turf very well.
The football team has all of their assistant coaches, and they're busy preparing for tomorrow's spring game.
That is right. The Colorado football team has their black versus gold scrimmage tomorrow at Folsom Field starting at noon.
Vinay Simlot is not there yet, but he was
That's
there
right, Mitch.
today.
Lena, here at Folsom Field, preparations underway for the spring game. You see the fence, the forklift behind me. Things are happening. Let's talk about the game. They're going to split the roster into 2 different teams, a black team and a gold team. Now, looking at the rosters, it seemed to me like the gold team has the #1 offense, while the black team has the #1 defense, and they'll get a chance to play each other, and fans will get to see that as well. They're going to play 4 quarters, running clock the whole way through except the last few minutes of each half. This will be a lot more entertaining than the game last year where it was just a glorified practice, which will be great for the fans to see this new-look Mel Tucker team for the first time. If you're coming out to the game, the security will be just like a normal football game. Metal detectors, this road behind me will be closed. So come out. If you have a big purse, leave that at home. Bring your plastic bag, just like Hoda Kotb, and come out and have a good time. Guys?
Thanks, Vinay. Now it's time for our trivia question.
This is a tough one to wrap up our last trivia question. Since last night was the first round of the NFL draft, we're asking you,
how many CU football players have been drafted as first-round picks?
And you know the drill. We'll have the answer for you later in the show. Oh, and Mitch, you know who we haven't talked about recently?
Who?
Our favorite, Phil Lindsay.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a
Tasmanian
little while.
Devil.
Well, he's going to be at the game tomorrow, actually.
Great, I'll be there.
Are you only going because Phil is?
No, I'm going because I want to go, but also because Phil's going too. But coming up next, we'll have some info on the financial revenue decline in the Pac-12. Stay tuned.
Well folks, with this being our final Buff Banter of the season, it's important to fill you in on all the current Pac-12 news for the last time. An article published recently by John Wilner with the Mercury News talked about the Pac-12's decline in revenue and payouts to the schools. Pac-12 Network President Mark Shrunken recently told the Business Sports Journal that their main goal is to amplify student athletes and their experiences, and not to serve as a revenue-generating machine. Internal budget projections for the Pac-12 network show a 6%, $8.1 million year-over-year decline in total revenue. This includes a 22% drop in advertising, a 30% drop in digital revenue, and the list goes on and on. With all the networks, we're set to generate around $127 million in revenue against their $92.5 million in total of operating expenses for the 2019 fiscal year. Overall, the financial projections for the 2019 ended up showing an impact of loss by distribution on Uverse, which is the byproduct of the Pac-12 ending their 5-year partnership with the company AT&T. This loss fueled by the split shows an initial drop of $135.5 million to $127 million in the 2019 fiscal year, which is approximately 5.9% decline. The overall budget constraint leaves a series of questions to be answered, and it should be interesting to see how this decline affects the season. That is a lot of numbers to keep up with, so I hope you guys can listen to that. And that's all I have for you this season. This isn't goodbye, this is see you next fall. I'm Claire Stesky with Buff Banter.
The golf team was in Eugene, Oregon for the 60th annual Pac-12 Conference Championships. Colorado finished 10th with a 60 over par. Their team score was 1,480. The Buffs needed a tie for 8th or better to make it to regionals, which they didn't. So for the first time in 6 years, Colorado will not be in the NCAA regional tournament next week.
The tennis team was also in the Pac-12 championships. 34-ranked Washington swept Colorado in the first round, 4-0. Washington State will move on to play Stanford, and Colorado didn't qualify for the NCAA championships, but there's a silver lining. The 10-14 Buffaloes finished their season with the most wins in school history. Congratulations.
The women's soccer team finishes up their spring schedule tomorrow in Boulder against the University of Wyoming. The Buffs are 3-1 through the first 4 games, with the lone loss being to BYU. The games at the same time as the football spring game. They're both at noon, so take your pick. The team also announced their captains for the upcoming 2019 season. Seniors to be Jalen Tompkins, Taylor Korniak, Kelsey Ackness, and Stephanie Zuniga were selected by team vote. Tompkins and Scout Watson were the team's captains for the previous 2 seasons, which is something that you and Nathan made a package on. I remember
That is true. Wow, we're looking back, we're reminiscing. But congratulations to all the 4 of the new captains. They'll get some nice C's stitched onto their jerseys.
That's true. Speaking of clothing, Lena, what do you think of my attire today?
I think it's pretty good. I like your shirt and your tie. It's matching. I think it looks good, but not nearly as bad as Tad Boyle's suits, which we'll talk about.
Which we will have. Lena will have that for you after the break.
That's true.
I
And,
think you're pretty well suited for the assignment.
well, thank you, Mitch. We'll just call it a tie, right?
Okay, we'll be right back.
We are the University of Colorado sailing team, and still the only college sailing team in Colorado. Last year, we traveled to 5 regattas and hosted our own using a fleet we bought with community support.
This year, we're raising money to purchase a safety boat that will take care of our sailors and lead effective practices to get them in tip-top shape to kick stern at regattas.
Weather changes happen quickly in Colorado, so we need to be prepared in case anyone ends up in the water. A safety boat with a proper engine will help make sure we can get people and boats to safety in the event of a capsize.
Safety is our team's top priority, and this boat will help us prepare for worst-case scenarios. This boat will put us on track through being the safest, the fastest, and the most effective team in our conference.
Donate today to help us reach our $4,000 goal and get CU Sailing motivated. Share to everyone you know to spread the word. With your help, we'll be on our way to be a safer and more successful program.
Lena Takahashi talks about fashion. Lena.
We thought we would compile some of the pictures that we've taken of Tad Boyle over the past couple of games, and we've noticed that there could be improvements made.
He could work on his clothes.
Just a little bit. So we thought we would talk about him a little bit.
Starting with his days in Kansas. Look at that stud.
Look at him. He has hair on his head. Those are prime time Tad Boyle days. Look at his legs. He's just in. He's
in
fit.
Great shape.
Great shape.
Not like now.
And look at those Chuck Taylors. Those are in right now.
Yeah.
He's
not
just
slathered in Ben Gay Tad Boyle. All right, let's move on to this look. You don't like the sneakers.
I just don't like the colors that he has, and with the sneakers, it's just not a good look. No sneakers. That's a rule.
And you've got a problem with the pants, which brings us to the next picture.
Yeah, this look just screams Bumblebee. Maybe it's the tie, maybe it's the colors. I think I would just like it if maybe it's just all black. Who knows?
And see a tailor about those pants, Coach.
Yeah, they're too long, just too long.
But this next look, you actually like this one.
I do like this one. I like how it has the black and the gold tie instead of the black and the yellow. I think it's the tie. But I also like that he has the same color. It's an actual suit. Like, he has the good colors going and he looks good. I don't know about the pants. Yeah, pleated pants.
The drip is improving, but what about this last one?
This one I actually like. I think it's good. No pleated pants. That's an important part of it. All black, and the red inside kind of reminds me of those like classy Louboutin heels a little bit.
I wear those.
That look. And it looks good. He looks classy, looks a little angry, but looks classy. And we just thought that we would give those critiques because if you look better, you do better.
Yeah, as Deion Sanders says. Lena, back to you.
Thanks, Renee.
Lena, great job getting back from the red carpet so quickly. It looks like you've gotten a little taller.
I think it grew from that, apparently. But again, it's our last BSL trivia question and answer of the year. And remember, we asked you, how many football players have been drafted as first-round picks?
Ready? Drum roll. There have been 24 Buffs taken in the first round of the NFL draft since 1936. The last time a Buff went into the first round was 2011, and that was Nate Soldier.
Dang, 2011.
Oh man, last trivia question. I'm getting emotional.
Are you? I don't see any tears in your eyes, Mitch. I expect some tears, but
well, those tears are gonna happen with our time-honored Sports Mag / BSL tradition.
Our senior packages are next.
They were nervous and inexperienced, as new faces looking to achieve greatness. As the years went on, they grew confident in their abilities.
Maybe. Yes, sir!
Now they look to guide others in the same pursuit.
There it is! Can you believe it?
All are welcome to be featured on the biggest stage.
Is it his time? Yes!
We invite you to discover what you're capable of at BuffSports Live.
School year may be winding down, but we're just heating up. This is Rapid Fire. Starting tonight, the women's lacrosse team will be in Oregon playing in the Pac-12 tournament. The Buffs enjoyed a first-round bye and will start things off in the semifinals. They'll take on the winner of the Stanford-Oregon game for a trip to the championship game on Sunday. The men's lacrosse playoffs wrap up tomorrow at Kittredge Field at 4. You can catch the game on this channel. On Saturday, the Buffalo's track and field team will send a courageous group up to Fort Collins. The Buffs will be participating in the 2019 Jack Christensen Invitational at CSU. Best of luck to the Buffaloes and senior distance runner Danny Jones, who will be making her season debut. Also on Saturday, we'll get a sneak peek of the football team during their annual spring game. All students will get ice cream, but as Coach Mel Tucker put it, the game will be all meat and potatoes. Scrimmage will begin at noon, so head down to Folsom Field and catch all the action. It's been quite a year, but unfortunately it all must come to an end. I'm Jack Carlo, putting out the flame with Rapid Fire.
As promised, it's time for our senior packages.
That's right. It's a tradition that we have here, honoring everyone who is graduating this semester, including all of us.
Today, it's me, Lena, Samantha Greening, and the smartest man in all of sports, our director, Jack Stern. Mr. Jack Stern. Here it is.
Jay Stern 97, the Ralphie Report's most eligible bachelor.
Sam is the sweetest girl ever. I only met her this year. I think it was at a football game that we were covering.
Lena, I mean, you always have a smile on your face and you're just so welcoming to everyone.
Mitch has always just been a guy I can lean on since I joined the show at the end of my sophomore year. He always knew what was going on.
Sam, you are one of those people that, you seem quiet on the outside, and in the group setting, you're not yelling about sports like everyone else is, which I like, because that's really important. And then at the end of the day, as I'm leaving for the show, you always ask me, like, hey, how's it going? How are you? And I think that's really good, and that says a lot about your character.
The first person that I met, when I joined BuffSports Live was Sam, and we just, hit it off instantly, because she's just super, super sweet, the cutest little thing you'll ever meet in your whole entire life, And she just gives great advice, and she just introduced me to everyone, because I'm a super shy person.
You encourage all of us to do better. You're always willing to help out wherever we need, even running the teleprompter on a Thursday night.
I love how I've gotten close with Sam in just a short period of time, obviously being with Mitch so much, and I think her film background has been something that's contributed to the show because she has kind of a different insight for the viewers.
It was awesome when you would always bring me tea too before some of our shows, and that just shows how kind you are and how caring you are.
Honestly, I don't know how you put up with Mitch.
Lena, I actually didn't meet her until the end of the year, this year, and she was super nice, super welcoming, and she just has such an amazing voice on camera. She's definitely someone to look up to, and I hope that one day I can be like her.
You just always kill it with being on the desk. I've listened to, people talk about how great you sound on the desk, and I think back on it and I'm like, wow, Lena has improved so much from when she started. And in a couple years, I'll probably be watching you on the Olympics, which is so cool. I'm really proud that you went for graduating early.
Lena's really sweet. She's always really energetic and always smiling, and always has a lot more confidence in me than I have in me, and definitely going to go on to do really good things.
You've really just opened your arms to me and everyone, and you always brighten up a room.
I love how Lena is always a goody two-shoes, but I love her anyway, and she's always someone who's super intelligent. She loves journalism. She has a passion for it, which is just infectious and contagious, and I've gotten it by osmosis. Just being around her and seeing how much she loves and enjoys doing BuffSports Live. It's helped me gain enjoyment.
Jack, over the past 2 years, I've enjoyed sitting next to you, listening to your hot takes, listening to your cold takes, listening to your not so good takes. No, seriously though, Jack, I've enjoyed getting to know you, getting to be your friend. And seriously, I've been telling everybody this past week. I'm so proud of you and the amount of hustle you have in getting an opportunity for yourself.
Jack was a character when I first met him. I was not expecting a person to ever be like Jack, but he's been an awesome friend, and he's definitely taught me the most, I would say.
And I've had so much fun just arguing with you about all sorts of different sports and different takes, and I don't know, that's something that I've really enjoyed and really looked forward to every Thursday.
I'm excited to see where you go. I think you're also really just one of the most passionate people I've met, and I can tell that you're passionate about sports and you just really, really like it. And so I think it's going to be great. Whatever you have in store for you, I think it's going to be good, and I'm rooting for you. Good luck.
Everybody knows you. Everybody knows your opinions. You are just out there making noise, and I think that's why you're going to be a great personality on TV, on the radio, wherever you end up.
Yeah, I started BuffSports Live, and I was really interested in hockey, and Mitch was more than happy to get me involved, and I was super excited to just kind of see what it was about, and he actually threw me into the fire, and of course I was a little bit scared at first, but I thank him for where I'm at right now.
Mitch, it's been really cool to see how you've really grown this year, especially with the hockey broadcast, and just how really into it you have gotten and how much you want to learn, and Your excitement for it is really cool.
Mitch, thanks for all that you've done for us this year. When our studio flooded, you just kept going. You were the one who figured it out, and you were really calm about it, and I think that helped keep us calm too, and I'm just really grateful for that. I know that you are just really passionate about whatever you put your mind to, and so you're going to be great whatever you do.
And Mitch was like the first person to talk to me, really get me interested, and he's helped me so much along the way with any packages that we've done.
Mitch, I've already said more on this camera hit right here than you've ever said to anyone in your entire life.
Mitch also, I guess just from the beginning, he's always very welcoming to everyone that comes to the show, and he's the best on, I guess, just helping out with cameras.
That trip to Arizona was awesome for the hockey team. That was a ton of fun.
You're one of the best editors I know. You think of things very creatively. You're stubborn in your ways, but I think it's because you know what you're doing has a really good foundation behind it. And you know I'm always in your corner. I think you're going to do really great things.
Mitch, the things you've done to this show since I've started here have raised the production value exponentially. You've taken the graphics, you've taken the segments, you've taken the content and turned it into something that we can all be proud of, something that we can all contribute to, and things that, frankly, I and everyone else in Buff Sports Live have learned a lot from.
So this is us. These are the people behind the scenes who put on the show, and we really couldn't have done it without every single one of us. Here's Vinay. Here he is. Mitch, how you feeling?
Vinay. It hasn't registered with me yet that this is happening.
And it won't for a while, but we're thankful, and we're going to have a great year of Buff Sports Live again next year. So definitely tune in, and tune in tonight to our 7 p.m. broadcast of the lacrosse game.
I've got some names to shout out. Brett Mann, thank you so much. Greg O'Brien, Andrew Borhan, and Justin Sprecher. These are all my role models.
And Steve Jones.
And Steve Jones.
Leads us.
Oh, he couldn't be here today, but we wish he was here today.
So?
He's probably watching out there. You got anybody you want to shout out? Any role models?
I mean, Steve Jones and pretty much everyone who comes to Buff Sports Live, if you've been here once, a couple times, we are grateful for you, and we look forward to seeing you guys next year. Woo! That's so lame.
Hey.
Face off. Anyone's ball here. And BYU isn't. Looks like they're able to maintain possession. BYU, after a couple Utah face-off wins this one. And BYU will start things back up. Pass down to Dalen.